Hi, my name is Shane. I'm from Ladysmith Embroidery Centre, and obviously we do embroidery and some digital printing. And I also do digitizing all over South Africa for people that don't have the in-house digitizers. But this morning I want to particularly concentrate on how to do caps without changing your embroidery machine into putting the cap frame onto an embroidery machine, because some caps can get really difficult, and especially if you've used your cap frame over the years and it's started to wear and your quality doesn't really end up being high quality anymore. So what we've done is we actually make a badge and put some glue paper on it, and we actually press it onto a cap. And believe it or not, sometimes in fact many times the quality is far better than an actual cap, the way it will come out on a embroidery machine. So I'm going to show you something here this morning. I've got a few caps here, and what I want to show you is how we go about doing a badge onto a cap. But if you don't mind just coming closer, I want to show you something. This is a cap press, and as you can see, the degrees at the moment is 163 degrees. I like to go up to 170 degrees to actually press a cap, and that's probably the best temperature to have it. And then obviously what you didn't see, I set it to 13 to 15 seconds to just make sure that the glue between the badge and the cap actually penetrates the cap itself. And so I'm going to just show you basically what we would do is we would make a whole lot of badges. Yeah, yes, prepared badges, which was done on a machine. And then what we would do is we would take a press like this and put the glue paper. Now the glue paper comes like this, and if I can advertise for MC Thompson in Durban, this is where we get glue paper from. You have a waxy side, and then you have the glue side. And what we do is we obviously cut off the amount that we need, and then we take the glue paper and we put it onto the badge or the badges as we need it. And in fact, I've just cut a small piece. Now this is a customer of ours, Sims Logistics, and what I'm basically going to do, this is just a general straightforward badge. It's square, so it's not really the best badge to show, but I will show you another one in due course. And what we do is there's a shiny side and a waxy side, and what happens is the shiny side's the actual glue. So the shiny side we take and we actually put it onto the badge so that the shiny side is downwards and the waxy side is facing you. And generally we would use this press at 140 degrees Celsius, and we would press this for 10 seconds and then leave it just to cool down, cut the badge out, and then pull off the wax. But I'm going to show it to you on the cap press because it's just far easier. I've got the cap press on already. The cap press at the moment is 170 degrees. That's not really good for pressing on the wax paper because I feel it's way too high. So instead of 13 seconds, I'm going to just press it for 5 seconds just to get the glue to actually bond with the badge and the fabric. Okay, that's 5 seconds. I'm going to just leave it to cool. Just by the way, here's another badge that we prepared beforehand. It's one of our local restaurants. It's called Chicken Fishin', and we're going to put this onto a cap later on. And the quality that comes out, no cap frame can actually beat that quality because it's done on a machine within a frame with a nice taut tension on the fabric, and your quality is just far supersedes the quality of a cap frame. This should be cool enough. I need a pair of scissors, just a basic badge. I'm going to cut it out along the border. While you cut out, obviously don't cut the steel border, otherwise it starts fraying. So experience will allow you just to cut beyond the badge. And it being a white cap, it doesn't really matter if there's a little bit of white left on the outside of this navy steel border, because that will just blend in with the cap in any event. So this is the gentleman's cap. What we're going to do, sorry about that. What we're going to do is we're going to peel off the wax. And the wax peels off and the glue is actually left on the badge itself. And that glue is actually going to not just bond, but because of the pressure of the cap press, it's actually going to penetrate into the cap. So once this badge is on, you're going to you're going to really battle to get this badge off. Obviously you'll be able to pull the badge off if you really, really wanted to, but the point is this cap can go through the washing machine if people use washing machines or whatever. This badge is not going to come off. So what we do is we take the cap. It's a nice little nifty cap frame I got from Keith Brothers, bought from them. And what I like to do before I do I put the badge on, I just like to preheat it for a couple of seconds. As you see, we're on 170 degrees at the moment, so I just preheat it, and it also gives me an idea where to place the badge. And there we go. And obviously try and put the badge straight. We don't want to put the badge on skew, and I think I need a bit more heat just to make this bond. Because what I want to do is have the glue just slightly bond with the heat on the cap, so I can have a placement without it moving. I'm just going to hold it there for a couple of seconds, and hopefully it will. Yeah, it's kind of stuck. I see the side is lifted, but that's not a problem because the other side is remained stationary. And here we go. 13 seconds, 13, 15, sometimes even 20 seconds at 170 degrees, depending on the complexity and the thickness of the badge. There we go. Leave that cap to, and there it is. There's the badge. And this guy likes to have, I didn't put the steel border there on purpose. He actually wanted a steel border. But now what happens when there's a badge that does not have some sort of border? What do? I actually create a profile. Sometimes it's not just good to just put a square and just bang it onto the cap. Otherwise it just doesn't fit the design or the end result. So in this case I actually ran a profile around it that kind of suits this badge. And then again, in this case I've cut off a piece. This is going to go onto a beanie, which I'll show you later. But let's just glue this in the meantime. Just give it a quick preheat. Know where I'm putting it. Not working. There we go. By the way, you will notice this platform, or rather the holder, is only 6 centimeters wide. And in some cases, our badges are higher than 6 centimeters, sometimes 8 and even 9, depending on what the design is. And in that case, we have to press the cap twice. Obviously starting in one section, pressing it for your 13 seconds, and then moving your cap along, and then pressing the remainder of the badge, and thereby gluing it to the cap. Fortunately, this is just under 6 centimeters, so I was able to do one press, put the glue on, and as we see again, let me just get the camera on this. We're going to cut as close to the profile as possible without nicking it and causing the steel border to fray. Let me just cut that piece off so I can handle it a bit more. And there we go, voila. Now this is going to go into a black beanie, but now we've got a contrast of white and black, but because the customer wants a white background, we're going to use it on a black beanie. But sometimes customers want a black background to suit the color of the beanie. So if the beanie was red, we would put their logo onto a red piece of fabric to blend in with the beanie so that the logo itself stands out and not the fabric. But in this case, this gentleman wanted the white to stand out. Now let's go to this cap. This badge has been prepared already. And what we're going to do once again is preheat the cap. This badge is just slightly bigger than 6 centimeters. So we're going to do this badge 2 times. Okay, here we go. Step 1. Place the badge nicely in the center. Just let it sit. There we go. So we're going to do it, unfortunately, for double the amount of time. And then just pull the cap forward slightly so you can have the rest of the badge within the table. There we are, finished. Now I want you to take a look at both of these caps. I promise you, you will not get that finish on a industrial embroidery cap frame. You'd probably have to sit and design and compensate and try and get that, but you are not going to get that finish on a cap. So that's why we've preferred to do complex designs with glue paper on a cap press. And by the way, as I said again, this is glued. The glue paper, or rather the glue, has actually penetrated the cap. And if you have your pressure high enough, you can actually see the glue come through the other side of the cap. In this case, you can't see it too clearly. I can see it. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but I can see it. And you can almost see even the profile of the badge. Now look at that. Beautiful. Perfect quality, but rather done in a frame instead of a cap frame. Now the beanie, because it's jersey knitted, it's a knitted garment, or in this case a beanie. It's a jersey, so we have to watch the temperature. Beanies do not like 170 degrees Celsius, because what in effect happens, it melts. It ends up melting the fibers and stretching it. So this is actually a very tricky situation. Again, what I do, I've got my 170 degrees, I've got my 13 seconds, but I'm going to bring my 13 seconds rather down to say 4 or 5 seconds, and rather do the beanie twice, thereby not damaging the beanie. So I'd rather do the beanie once, let the glue kind of set, and then come back and do the last one and get the glue to pull through. Okay, you've noticed I've turned the beanie inside out, because that's how you would do a beanie on an embroidery machine, because you've got the lip of the beanie, and that's where you want the badge. The badge needs to be on the beanie, on the lip, or the flip side rather. So what we're going to do is we want it there, so we turn the beanie inside out. And again, I think this might, yeah, it just fits. So what we're going to do, oh yes, take off the wax paper. We've got the glue. Just obviously make sure that the thing is central. Take it onto the cap frame. In fact, I kind of know where center is. I'd rather just put it onto the cap frame. And here we go. Just, you see, we're almost on the verge of melting the fibers, but if I went for the full 13 seconds, we would have melted these fibers. I mean, they're polyester and nylon fibers in this beanie. Let it set, just let it cool down, and go for our last run. That should be enough. Now if you notice on the beanie, I can actually see there are some marks over here, but fortunately it hasn't melted this beanie. So if we were to leave this beanie for 10 minutes, those marks would disappear because it would reach back to its the temperature in the room, and thereby we haven't really damaged the beanie. But it's very important. Beanies are very difficult. A beanie is quite easy to embroider on a embroidery machine, but this is a very complex design. So what happens is the probability of the design moving as the jersey moves within the hoop, it might distort the logo and just mess up the entire quality of the beanie, and you have an unhappy customer. So here we go. That should be set. Turn the beanie back inside out or the right way around. Flip it around. And then, end result, I don't know what they're going to do with this. Is a security company, so they need it for their security officers. But that's it. 2 badges. Obviously you get more intricate badges where we have to try and run a profile, and again, as I said, if it's a black cap and you want the embroidery to stand out, use a black piece of fabric to match the cap. It can get quite tricky because you get olive caps and you might not have the exact olive fabric to match that cap, but there again, you can play with it, because sometimes a lighter olive would actually add to the end result of the cap, and we've had that quite often where the customer is absolutely happy, and I know I've made the customer happy because there's no way I could have achieved that on a cap frame. I hope that helps.